For a long stretch of the 2010s, Friday nights belonged to the Baxter family. Last Man Standing built a loyal audience around its mix of family comedy and old-fashioned sitcom warmth. But behind the scenes, the show went through constant upheaval. Actors leaving, characters being recast, and a shocking cancellation followed by an even more surprising comeback. Here's how it all actually happened. After years off network television, Tim Allen returned in 2011 to headline Last Man Standing. Getting him there wasn't simple. He had reportedly turned down other lucrative offers, including a CBS deal reported to be worth roughly $1 million an episode. What made this project different was the character himself. Creator Jack Burdett pitched Mike Baxter as a kind of older, more grounded cousin of Allen's tool-time persona from Home Improvement. Allen was initially hesitant, worried the role would feel too familiar, and turned it down multiple times before agreeing, on condition that he'd also serve as an executive producer with real creative input, an arrangement that later shaped the show's willingness to tackle political themes head-on. ABC's pitch was essentially a modern spin on All in the Family, a conservative dad whose views would constantly be challenged by the people around him. They slotted into Friday nights, a notoriously difficult time slot, betting that Allen's star power could carry it. The bet paid off. The October 2011 premiere pulled in over 13 million viewers, ABC's strongest comedy launch in years, and the show quickly became a ratings leader in its slot, particularly with adults 18 to 49. Over 6 seasons, it consistently drew more than 8 million viewers an episode, which made its 2017 cancellation all the more baffling to fans. But the turnover actually started much earlier, with the very first season. Actress Alexandra Krosny originated the role of Kristen, Mike Baxter's eldest daughter, a teenage single mom raising her son Boyd while living at home and working as a waitress. Fans responded to how real Krosny made the character feel. Sharp, funny, but also emotionally grounded in the struggles of young motherhood. Her back-and-forth banter with Allen's character was an early highlight of the show. Then, after season 1, ABC announced Krosny wouldn't be returning. The official explanation was creative differences, but the real story was more layered. Producers wanted to age Kristen up and make her a more seasoned, worldly character who could go toe-to-toe with Mike on political and social debates, a shift from the young mom finding her footing arc. That meant recasting the role with Amanda Fuller. There was also a practical issue. Even though Kristen was supposed to be the oldest sibling, Krosny was actually younger than Molly Ephraim, who played middle sister Mandy. Fuller, being older than both actresses, fit the eldest daughter role more convincingly. Around the same period, in December 2011, a 19-year-old Nick Jonas made a one-off appearance as Ryan Vogelson, Kristen's ex and the father of her baby. The character was written as a jittery, immature kid who'd skipped town on his responsibilities. A minor role, but the casting stunt generated real buzz. When Tim Doyle took over as showrunner in season 2, he saw more potential in Ryan and wanted to turn him into a fuller character capable of challenging Mike intellectually rather than just being comic relief. Even so, Jonas didn't stick around for that evolution. In 2012, Jordan Masterson, known for his role on Greek, stepped into the part of Ryan, and the character changed dramatically under him. Gone was the scared kid version. Masterson's Ryan was sharper, more politically engaged, and genuinely able to spar with Mike over ideology. As the series progressed, Ryan's arc kept expanding. He eventually launched his own cannabis business, Best Buds, giving the writers a running joke about him gradually turning into the kind of capitalist Mike could respect, whether Ryan realized it or not. In May 2017, ABC's decision to cancel Last Man Standing blindsided everyone. This wasn't a struggling show. It was pulling over 8 million viewers and strong ratings on a night that's traditionally tough for comedies. The timing raised eyebrows, too. Just 2 months earlier, Tim Allen had stirred controversy on Jimmy Kimmel Live by comparing being conservative in Hollywood to living in 1930s Germany. Speculation swirled that politics had influenced the network's call. ABC's then president, Channing Dungey, pushed back on that idea, saying the network simply wanted to shift its Friday lineup away from comedies and toward genre programming like fantasy and sci-fi. Whatever the real reasoning, the cast took it hard. Allen said publicly that he felt blindsided by the news. Nancy Travis, who played his on-screen wife Vanessa, expressed heartbreak and gratitude to fans. Hector Elizondo, who played Ed, suggested in interviews that politics may have factored into the decision. Some younger cast members, including Molly Ephraim and Caitlin Dever, didn't expect a revival and move on to other projects almost immediately. Fans, however, weren't ready to let go. A Save the Show campaign exploded almost overnight. An online petition reportedly gathered hundreds of thousands of signatures within a day. Social media flooded with a dedicated hashtag, and supporters even mailed toy tools to ABC's offices as a nod to Allen's handyman character. People crowd-funded billboards in cities like Los Angeles and New York urging the network to reverse course, and even politicians weighed in. Wisconsin's and Governor Scott Walker publicly floated the idea that the cancellation was politically motivated. Behind the curtain, the practical explanation was more about money than message. ABC reportedly paid around $3 million per episode to license the show from 20th Century Fox, and Allen's salary, over $200,000 an episode, added to the cost. After cancellation, Fox began shopping the series to other outlets, including CMT and NBC, before ultimately deciding to bring it back in-house. On May 11, 2018, Fox officially announced it was reviving Last Man Standing. Timing mattered here. ABC's Roseanne revival had just proven there was a real audience for bringing back a cancel hit, and Fox wanted a piece of that success. The network committed roughly $50 million to relaunch the show. A few days before the official news broke, Allen teased fans on social media, hinting the deal was already coming together. Turning that deal into an actual season on air was a scramble. Fox announced a revival in May with a premiere date set for September, giving writers only about 15 weeks to develop scripts starting that June. Filming began in August at the original studio, but on a rebuilt set since the original had already been dismantled. To hit the deadline, the crew filmed 3 episodes a week, and production later had to pause entirely because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Costs rose accordingly. Per episode budgets climbed to about $1.1 million, up from roughly $800,000 in the ABC years, and Allen's pay increased to around $235,000 an episode, putting him among the higher-paid actors on television at the time. To help offset expenses, Fox sold streaming rights to Hulu and CMT for a reported $1.5 million per episode, while the production team looked for savings elsewhere, including tighter filming schedules and reduced location travel.